Hey bio classes, my name is Mrs. Hills and I am co-teaching and co-planning with, Dr. Eldridge, Miss Deering, and Mr. Shea this semester. And I just wanted to give you a quick overview of this great new resource that we have for biology, and that's our new biology online textbook. I'm going to go over a bunch of things about it today, and here's my little agenda. We're going to go over the signing in and how to do that. We are going to talk about, oh, go away. Here it is. We're going to talk about how to sign in. We're going to talk about the menus that pop up and how to use those and the different resources that are available. We'll talk about accessibility features, what's in each chapter, and where to find the index and the glossary, because those are also great resources. So we'll talk about all of those. First thing that's really important, though, is how do I sign into this online textbook? Here's where you're going to go. The website is my.hrw.com. Now, this website is not www, so remember that when you go to find it, but it's just my.hrw.com. I'm gonna probably suggest that you go ahead and bookmark that in your Chromebook so that you have that all the time. But I'm also going to put a link on the Google Doc that you use to get to this video so you can get there pretty quickly. Don't do this yet, but I'm going to show you how to log in. Your teacher will give you your username and password. You're just going to go ahead and type in username and password here. There are some other options on this page, but you're not going to use those. So where it says register or preview, those aren't things you got to worry about. We did already set up username and password for you, so you're just going to type those in and log in. Just a quick, really quick, so you don't have to do any of that registering. Once you do, it'll take you to a page that looks like this, and that's going to be your dashboard. This online textbook offers a lot of different things, and you'll be able to find those on your dashboard. So let me show you those really quickly. First, on the dashboard, there will be a lot of different resources for each subject. There will be scores for assignments, current assignments, what's coming up. If we use those through the textbook, they'll be here. If we decide to do that, you will get a notification either in an email, we'll push it out right to your Chromebook so you'll know that. We will not use the assignments on the textbook all the time, so if those are used, you will have a notification for where to get that. Next, if you're looking at this on a tablet at home, there's a couple different views and it talks about that. And if you want to look at a quick start guide or need more help on it, there are resources for that, and I'll show you where to get that. If you want to watch this again, you can do that too, and I'll show you where to get that. So after you finish this little tutorial, you'll get to a page that looks like this. This is your dashboard. This is where the actual textbook is here, where the picture of the book is. This is where you'll see scores from assignments, and this is where you'll see upcoming assignments. What I talked about for that help stuff right here in the Help Center, if you click on that, the Getting Started is what we just looked at. There's also a quick start guide for the textbook and help here that you can search. So there's where more help would be found if you need it. For the textbook though, if you click on the textbook, it's going to take you to, ta-da, your book. And that's right online, so that's kind of cool. You'll always have it with you. You can log into it wherever you are. But there's also a lot of great features to this book that there wouldn't be if we had just a regular textbook. And here's what we're going to talk about next, the menu on the left and the top. So first, the menu, table of contents, something that we're all used to using, but sometimes it's hard to find for an online book. So great that it's right here on the top left whenever we need it. There is some introductory material that I'd like to show you. So if you clicked on this table of contents, and this is the full table, if you need to scroll, you got to click on the white bars and scroll up, and it'll give you a little bit more things that you can look at. Whoops. Okay, so in the introductory material, something I think is really cool are all the online resources that are available for this book. So let me scroll down and show you what I mean. Online resources in this book are going to look like this. When you see that red circle with the white arrow, that's when there's something that you can click on and go outside of the book to get more information, to do an online lab, a whole bunch of different things. And here's what those are. So we might be able to do some animated biology. So this is going to take different things and give you an animated view of them, like this is like the lungs and the heart. They might have something like that. This is a Google Expedition, so that would be some virtual reality things that we will be checking out. right here, virtual labs that we can do instead of using lab equipment. We can just do those online and check them out that way. Whoops. Okay. Other things, there are different videos from lots of different scientists doing their jobs and show you some things in the real world. Couple more online things is a self-check. I tried some of these, pretty cool. If you're reading through the chapter and you're like, do I get this? Do I not get this? Those self-checks will really give you questions that you can answer to see, do I understand it? How am I doing on this chapter? And those are all multiple choice. Interactive review, just different games and things you can play to review for tests. Web links will take you to a website or an article that you can read about the specific topic we're working on. Or WebQuest will put several different websites together so that you can kind of explore and kind of discover things without just reading it. Then there's also a smart grapher, so as we're looking at data, we can graph things and really see in a visual way what those data points tell us. A lot of people told us that they were visual learners, so we'll definitely be using that so we can take a look at our data in a different way. One more thing that the textbook offers is this BioZine. Really, really cool resource. Different articles about specific biology-related topics in the real world. So we'll be using that BioZine here and there to read some different articles. So that's some of the online things that are available in the textbook. The other thing that we wanted to talk about as we're going down this menu are bookmarks and notes. And I'm going to show you how to use those by going to an actual chapter. So Unit 1, Chapter 1, Biology in the 21st Century. Really exciting. So Chapter 1, Biology, this gross looking bug, that's actually a mosquito in a close-up view. Pretty gross. I don't want those biting me anymore. So not that I did before. But if we scroll down, this is going to tell us what's coming up in this chapter. As I said, this red circle with the arrow tells us there's something online available. Each of these things you can click on and it will tell you a different kind of assignment or something else so you can understand things a little bit more. Just more things that you can do on your own. Sometimes, too, there are labs that we can do. These are all online things. There's a video lab, a STEM lab, lots of different things to just go outside the textbook. As we're scrolling down, there's also some other options inside the textbook that I really love. So in Chapter 1.1 here, we can see that there's vocab coming up. There's words like biosphere, biodiversity, species, biology, science. I might not know what those words mean, so let's take a look at this word, biosphere. Maybe I don't even know how to say it. What I'm going to do is click on this right here and see what it tells me.
Biosphere. All organisms and the part of Earth where they exist.
I love this feature in the book. There are a lot of vocab words that come up that are not words that we've seen before. So this will not only show us what the word is and define it, but it'll read it to us and read us the definition too, so we have a better understanding of what those words are. So wherever you see a vocab word in the chapter, not just in this vocab list here, you can click on it and it'll do that same thing. So I like that a lot. As I scroll down a little bit more, I'll see that, oh, I do get to that word biosphere in the chapter, and then I can click on it, it'll do that same thing for me. So that's pretty awesome. There's also this figure right here. I'm not sure what that is, so I'm going to make it bigger. So just like I do on my phone, I'm just going to pinch and open so that I can see that bigger, just like you do on your phone. Okay, and I can see that those are ants, but what's going on there? So it says honeypot ants live in the desert where food and water are scarce. Some ants in the colony act as storage tanks for other ants in the colony. So they're storing food and water. I think that's pretty awesome. If I want to remember that later, if that's really important to me, I'm going to take a note on that. So to do that, I'm going to highlight this part underneath. Oh, come on. I'm going to highlight this, and it's going to say, do you want to add a note? And yes, I do. So I'm going to say, honeypot ants store food and water for each other. Okay, I want to remember that. Okay, that's about it. I'm going to make that pink, and I'm going to say I want to save that note. So if I ever want to come back to where those ants are, all I have to do is open my notes. Okay, so if I clicked on notes, oh, there's that note. There's what I said about it, and it'll always take me back to that page if I wanted to too. So that's one cool feature of the textbook. Another feature that I really like is I'm scrolling up where it says page 5 here. It also has this bookmark sign. So page 5 talks about biodiversity, right? That's a new term for me. I'm going to say, okay, that's something I have to remember. And whenever I go to this bookmarks tab, it'll tell me the day and the page that I put a bookmark on. So that's kind of cool too. One more thing. I talked about that smart grapher. That's what this looks like. You click here, it'll take you right to it. Lots of cool things about this book. So we talked about that. We talked about reading it to you, but you can read the whole page to yourself too if you'd like it to read it to you. So let's say that I want to know about biodiversity. So I'm going to click on this.
Biodiversity. The variety of organisms in a given area is called biological diversity, or biodiversity. Biodiversity generally increases from Earth's poles to the equator. More living things are able to survive in consistently warm temperatures than in areas that have large temperature changes during the year.
Okay, so great. The book will read that to me too, built in right here. If you ever wanted to read it to you, you can do that. You can also search for specific things or get back to that quick start guide that I talked about right here. Another thing is you can go to a specific page. So if I say, okay, today we're going to read from page 225, all I have to do is click on that page at the top, hit 225. I don't know what's on that page. Let's see what happens. And then that's about DNA replication. So if that's what we're talking about that day, I'll tell you what page we can head to that way. One more feature of the book. Okay, lastly, I wanted to talk about the index and the glossary. Those are really important things to be able to find what we need, and here's where you find that. If you go into your table of contents and you scroll to student resources, under your student resources way at the bottom is your glossary and your index. Those are going to be really helpful. I'm not sure if you know how to use both of those tools within a textbook, but the glossary is something that we've talked about already. When you go to the glossary, every term in the book, every vocab term will be defined for you. And just like it did in oh, it's not going to do it. Okay. Then if you go to the index, this is where you can kind of find things in a backwards way. So like we were just talking about those ants. If I wanted to find those in the book, I would go to ants in the index. I am finding, oh, there they are. So ant is right here, right? Okay, so that's ant. And I'm like, okay, I knew it was something about honey. So here's the honeypot ant right here. Whoa, here's the honeypot ant. And it says it's on page 4. Can I highlight just this? Nope, I can't. So right here, page 4 is where it says that honeypot ant is. I'm going to go to the top where it says go to page, type in page 4, and there I am back to where that honeypot ant is. So that's one really helpful thing about an index is that it helps me find things if I don't know what page I'm going to. It's another way to find things. So I think it's really important to be on that page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and find that index again. Now remember, I go to the main contents. I scroll down to student resources. I scroll up to index. And I'm going to suggest that this is one of the pages that you either bookmark or put a note in. I think notes are more helpful. So I'm going to highlight this word index. I'm going to add a note. I'm going to make it turquoise because I'm going to make that my resources. And I'm going to say this is a resource. Can't type today. Resource for me. Okay? So I'm going to save it. And now I always have that as a resource. There's the index. Whenever I need to go to it, it'll take me right there. If there are other resources that you find in the book that you think you're going to use over and over again, I would definitely make a note so you can always go back. Then whenever you log into that book, the resource will be there. I hope you found this helpful. You can refer back to it at any time. At this point, you're going to go back to that Google Doc and answer some questions about the textbook. All right, have a great day.